Let's talk a little bit, though, about power of attorney. A lot of people think that a power of attorney continues even after somebody passes away. That's something that we've dealt with as advisors quite a bit to kind of nix that thought. But why don't you walk through that with our listeners a little bit?
Right. I would say every other week I can overhear a conversation with my office manager on the phone with somebody going, nope, that terminated when they pass away.
Yes.
You don't have the power of attorney anymore. A very big misconception is that you can have a power of attorney while somebody's competent or incompetent, but as soon as they pass away, it goes away. And so we do. We really have talked to people a lot about fiduciary roles with power of attorneys and making them immediate during their lifetime. Not necessarily because it comes up very often, but when it comes up, it's usually an emergency.
Yes,
somebody is on vacation in Florida and they have a health event, and we don't have time to have them evaluated by a physician and do all these things to kick into the power of attorney into play. Sometimes it comes up in really useful ways, like if you're trying to sell a car on behalf of a spouse because they're on a vacation in Europe. You just never really know when a power of attorney is going to be needed, even if it's not a life and death emergency.
I'll tell you, I'm sure you have countless stories along those lines. The one that about gave me a stroke one time, we had a husband and wife who came in to talk with me, and he had a one-time opportunity with his former employer to choose whether to do a life-only payout or to take a pension. And if he didn't do the paperwork, the automatic choice from the company was going to be that he would get a pension, and it was a life-only pension. So lump sum payout or a life-only pension. And the deal was this guy, I don't remember which organ, and that doesn't really matter, he was on a transplant list. And so he didn't have, even with the transplant, we don't have a normal life expectancy if this is the case. And so what happened is that they had come in and made the decision that they were going to do the lump sum payout so that obviously his wife would have access to the funds after he was gone. And it was very clear that this is both what they both wanted to do. Then the paperwork arrived while he was in the hospital in a coma. And she had power of attorney, but it was springing, which meant, as you know, that two doctors needed to sign off on it. Well, we live in such a litigious society that those two doctors would not sign off on it under any circumstances. Now, thankfully, in their situation, he came out of the coma and he was able to sign the documents like it was less than a day before the deadline was going to expire. It was crazy how close this was, but it literally almost made the difference in her having money after he's gone and not having anything after he was gone.
Right. And just since the COVID pandemic, you and I have worked on a case of a couple in their early 30s that didn't have that plan, and the wife goes into a coma, and it would have helped a lot if we had some sort of power of attorney at that time.
Yeah, you just never know. I think that's a very valid point these days, especially that it is not age-based. It really is not.